everyone, welcome back to another video. You've clicked on Gotham Cenobites, and I'm Terry, and today's a very special day. I'm going to see The Flash. It's my first DC movie review, and it's going to be a little different than the others. I'm going to, obviously I'm on the way right now, and I'm going to give you my fresh out of the theater takes right here in the car when I get out, and then we'll end with me sitting down going over after it's marinated a little bit. So strap in, and this is The Flash. Let's get it going.
So you're saying you could travel back in time?
But Bruce, I can fix things. I could save my mom. I could save your parents.
You could also destroy everything.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara. I will help you.
Want some help?
Wait, he's Batman?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Alrighty, so first impressions. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, and I really implore you guys, if you're fans of DC, I mean, don't let crazy Ezra keep you from watching this, because I mean, yeah, it's an incredible movie. I think my only complaints, there's a few. The CGI is pretty iffy, I'll say. And I know when he's in the Speed Force, the director has said he's supposed to be like his blurry interpretation, and I get that, and that's forgivable. But there's other CGI, like, to me, I don't understand why they didn't go as practical. Because as long as it took them to make this movie, as many delays, they had plenty of time to film shots of Ezra's face. And there's some points where you could just tell Ezra is CGI. His whole face is CGI. So, I mean, it's those moments that I don't like. But everything in the Speed Force, if that's what people are complaining about, at the end when there's all those cameos, I think it's forgivable because you're in the Speed Force. So, but yeah, it's great. I'm still letting it marinate, but I think first impressions for me, I would probably say 9 out of 10. Keaton delivered 100%. We didn't get enough Batfleck, but what we did was awesome. It's a flash of him. It's really a flash of Wonder Woman in the beginning, but Keaton delivered. I think we could have got some more Supergirl as well. She was awesome. Not a whole lot of Zod, and God, I forget his little female lieutenant. Not a whole lot of her at all either. My other complaint is the Dark Flash, which is there's going to be spoilers, or what you consider to be a spoiler in this, and then of course later. But I think WB spoiled this movie months ago. Let people watch it without signing anything. So, I mean, this movie has been spoiled for a while. There's a Dark Flash. And it's new or younger Barry, who has been trying to fix this for years and years. And he's old. And every time he goes back, he gets more and more Kryptonian shit attached to him. So, there's the third Flash, the Dark Flash. Completely useless, in my opinion. Not enough of him. I mean, the movie didn't gain anything with that guy. So, I think the Dark Flash is completely unnecessary. But, so anybody out there watching that's a Hot Toys collector, you don't even need to grab that thing. It is it's so quick and over with, pointless. Don't do it. So the Dark Flash is pointless to me. And I can't help but be more pissed right now with Ezra Miller, because his performance was so awesome. But if he didn't keep his nose clean, so he's probably not going to be back. But it's very unfortunate. I know a lot of people don't like his performance even before all that, but I do. I like him as the Flash, and it's unfortunate that because of the bullshit he's doing in his personal life, terrorizing people or whatever the hell it was, we're not going to probably see him again. There's a big plot twist at the end, which I will divulge later. I like the movie. And there's an end credit scene that I'll explain later and explain my opinion on what that means. And I gotta say, I mean, I know it's probably the last time we'll see Batfleck. Keaton, one last hurrah, I think was great. But with Andy being announced directing the new Batman movie, I really am looking forward to the next movie, and I hope James Gunn at least gives us what we've already gotten. I mean, he doesn't have to shoot for the moon and be better, but just give us good movies, good stories. So I'm gonna head home, let it marinate, probably film the rest of this review tonight, and yeah, so I'll see you soon. Okay, so after letting this thing marinate for a whole day, and last night I watched Flashpoint again, just to kind of, because this is pretty much a Flashpoint story. I think overall the story, to me, I mean, it still makes sense. I mean, it's a good story. I think I'm curious to know what this movie would have looked like 2-3 years ago. But overall, I think it makes sense. I do like it, and I would be curious to know where it's going, but like I said, I mean, Ezra is a F-up, so I doubt we're going to see him again. So story overall is good. What I did like is you kind of like had Last Action Hero vibes a little bit, because when he goes in there and he's in the younger Barry's apartment and they're brainstorming, and Back to the Future gets brought up, and he's like, oh yeah, that movie with Eric Stoltz. And he's like, no, Marty McFly is Michael J. Fox. He's like, oh, the guy from Footloose. And he's just like, oh, I broke the universe. It just reminds you of that scene when Last Action Hero, another older movie, where Arnold is not in Terminator, it's Sylvester Stallone. So I thought that was a pretty funny aspect. And then the two Barrys, I mean, you could definitely see they were similar in a lot of ways, and the younger Barry did kind of bring you back to how Barry was in the Justice League. I mean, he was kind of goofy in Zack Snyder's cut, but not like full blown, like goofy as shit. So a younger Barry was kind of goofy, and you could see even older Barry was, getting annoyed with himself, saying, this is what everyone's talking about. So I thought that was funny, and then by the end, they're both, focused, and they both, I mean, it was a good climax, kind of, and that's what brings me to one of my points, is that there's no real villain. I mean, Dark Flash has a scene where he confronts the two Barrys, but it's over in a flash. And then, as far as Zod goes, I mean, he's not really in this that much. And I mean, I hate to say it, but most of Zod's scenes are in the trailer, or trailers. But Keaton was amazing. This is definitely my favorite Michael Keaton as Batman on film, like, period. Supergirl was great too. I just wish we got more. But her story, with the second pod sent to watch over Kal-El, it's in the comics, so that story, it makes sense. Of course, in this universe, Zod finds the other pod and ultimately killed baby Superman. So that's referenced. But yeah, I mean, she had a lot of good fight scenes. I mean, it kind of takes you back to the Man of Steel fight, but not really. So yeah, I mean, she was great, but again, 70 to 80% of all of her stuff is also in the trailers. But I liked her enough to where I do believe she's going to end up down there on the shelf over there next to Jor-El and Zod. But one last point, the end credit scene, and I've already told you guys, you know, obviously about what I've already said, spoilers. So there's an end credit scene, well actually the end reveal is once Barry realizes I can't fix it, takes out Dark Flash, and the other Barry does die. So the other two Barrys die, and he takes it back, fixes everything, and which now that I think about it, that doesn't really make sense, because if the young Flash dying takes out Dark Flash because they're the same Flash, how come young Barry dying doesn't take out the other Barry as well, if they're all the same person? Multiverse shit is complicated. But anyways, so he goes back after he fixes everything to his time. Everything's normal except he switched one thing. His dad gets out of prison, and the Bruce Wayne that pulls up at the end is George Clooney, which was great. So then the credits roll, and there's an end credit scene where he's in a bar, or taking Aquaman out of the bar. He's drunk, falls in the puddle. But I feel like the point of this scene is to set up the future, because Barry says to Aquaman, who's drunk, I've been to so many different multiverses. Bruce Wayne is always a different person, but you are always the same Aquaman. So I really think that Ezra is content in this new reality. He's going to stay there because his dad's free and nothing is too bad. But what it's meant to set up, I think, is for it to make sense with us, with the rebooted universe, why we're still dealing with the same Momoa. So I think the Aquaman movie that's coming this year it's been changed so much. I think Mira's gone. I think it's going to be an Aquaman in Gunn's universe now. And that scene at the end of this one is meant for it to make sense. Like, this is a different multiverse, but like Barry said, Aquaman is always the same. Never looks different like Bruce does. So yeah, I think no matter how bad we wanted Momoa to be Lobo, I think he's Aquaman, and he's gonna be around. I think it's up in the air still whether or not we see Ezra, but seeing George Clooney, I mean, it's the perfect opportunity for them to start over. So I guarantee everyone's gonna get recast now except Momoa. But as far as this movie goes, I'd say a solid 9 out of 10. I am an avid supporter of the Snyderverse, but I think it's time to let the horse die. Definitely look forward to Andy doing Batman and him. What I would say to you, Andy, going forward is, please, I know CGI is necessary in certain points, but be more practical. There is no excuse for some of the CGI in this movie. Like I said in the other part, some of it's wonky and it's in the multiverse, and I get it, that's meant to be wonky. But there was other stuff that was really bad too. So let's be more practical. Let's try going forward. And I'm looking more forward to the future now than I was, before this movie. So, as always that, I give Flash a solid 9 out of 10. I encourage everyone, it's a DC movie, no matter what side of the coin you are on, Gunverse, Snyderverse, go support DC. And that's all I have to say. 9 out of 10, go support DC, and try to look forward to the future. That's going to do it for the Flash review. If you like the video, consider hitting the like button, and then if you want to see more of this type of stuff, subscribe. That's going to do it for me. Happy Father's Day. Today's Father's Day to all you daddies out there. And appreciate everyone watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.